We're still in chapter 23. This is our second lecture, and this is on risk of loss. Sometimes things happen in transit. Sometimes, even before it ships or after it's received, things go bad with the goods. And the question is, who takes the loss? Well, the first answer you probably know. Hopefully the insurance company. That is that the parties have bought insurance policies so that if something does happen to the goods, the insurance will replace it. Insurance companies, however, still have to sort that out in terms of which one, let's say both buyer and seller get insurance policies on the shipment of the goods. Well, which one has to pay, which one doesn't. They have to sort that out, obviously. But the first question that's asked is this: does the party have an insurable interest? To have an insurable interest means that you must risk having a loss if something happens to those goods. So if the goods are, let's say you're buying hats, baseball hats. There's a whole lot of Detroit Tiger baseball hats sitting in a warehouse somewhere, right? Getting ready for the season. That may never happen. If you're a retailer and decide this is a good time to buy Tiger hats because they're so cheap right now, they're trying to unload them. And so you make a deal with the distributor, the manufacturer, whoever it is you're dealing with, try to buy these hats. And you know you're going to get a good deal on these. Now, can you get insurance on those hats that are sitting over at the other place that you haven't bought yet? No. You don't risk a loss if something happens to them. You have no loss. You must have an insurable interest in it with the risk of loss. So, just an example. Let's assume for the moment that I take out an insurance policy on my wife. Makes sense. People do that all the time, married people. I could do it with my children, grandkids, whatever, doesn't matter. And they could do the same with me if they wanted to. But could I take out an insurance policy on one of the Sams from our class? Does that make sense? Doesn't it seem odd that somebody who doesn't really know somebody else would get an insurance policy on them? In fact, it's very odd, and it's not allowed. Because you have no risk of loss. You have no insurable interest. It kind of reminds me of a really creepy story. It was true out in Los Angeles many, many years ago. These people would get insurance policies on some of the homeless people and then make sure they met their end and then try to collect on these policies. That scam didn't last very long before the insurance companies got wise to it, and the police as well. But that's the whole idea. You got to have some insurable interest in it first. You must risk a loss. So if you're counting on something showing up and you were budgeted for it and you've promoted it and it doesn't show up, now you got a loss. Now you're losing some business. Now you may have expended promotional outlays that aren't going to be returned. That's a time when you can get insurance because you have a risk of loss. That's it.